Are you paying massive hospital bills only to suffer from wrong diagnosis or negligent treatment? You are not helpless. In this episode of Consumer Times, we explore why medical professionals and doctors must be held accountable under the Consumer Protection Act, and how you can fight back legally when a doctor's negligence costs you your health and your money. Namaskar and welcome to Consumer Times. I am your host Dr. Arun Kumar. Just imagine this. You walk into a hospital with a manageable health issue. You trust the doctor. You undergo tests, procedures, and treatment. And when you walk out weeks later, you are not just unwell. You are poorer by several lakhs of rupees, and your condition has worsened because of a wrong diagnosis. Now ask yourself, do you have any rights? Can you hold that doctor accountable? The answer is absolutely yes. And today on Consumer Times, we are going to tell you exactly how. Most people do not realize that when you visit a doctor and pay for medical services, you are entering into a consumer service relationship. You are the consumer. The hospital or medical professional is the service provider. The Consumer Protection Act, 2019, which governs deficiencies in services across India, applies to healthcare just as it applies to a defective product from an e-commerce company or a builder who delays your flat. This was legally confirmed decades ago. In the landmark 1995 judgment, Indian Medical Association vs. VP Shanta, the Supreme Court of India held that medical services rendered for a fee fall squarely within the definition of service under the Consumer Protection Act. This means doctors and hospitals are liable to be prosecuted before consumer forums for deficiency in service. Medical negligence is not just about a bad outcome. It is about a failure to exercise the standard of care that a reasonably competent medical professional would have applied in similar circumstances. This could be a wrong diagnosis leading to unnecessary procedures, prescribing incorrect or harmful medication, performing a surgery that was not required, failing to inform the patient about the risks involved in a procedure, or even delayed treatment that worsens the patient's condition. When any of these occur and the patient suffers harm, physical, financial, or emotional, it constitutes a deficiency of service under the Consumer Protection Act, and the patient has every right to seek compensation. Consider the case of Mrs. Sunita Sharma from Delhi. She visited a well-known private hospital complaining of abdominal pain. Without conducting adequate diagnostic tests, the doctor advised immediate surgery for appendicitis. Mrs. Sharma and her family, trusting the doctor completely, agreed. They paid over 3.5 lakh rupees for the surgery and hospitalization. But post-surgery, her condition did not improve. A second opinion from another hospital revealed that she never had appendicitis. It was a muscular spasm that could have been treated with simple medication. Mrs. Sharma filed a complaint before the State Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. The commission ruled in her favor, awarding her full compensation for medical expenses, 1 lakh rupees for mental agony, and an additional punitive cost. The doctor and hospital were held guilty of gross negligence and deficiency of service. This is not an isolated incident. Thousands of patients across India face similar situations every year, paying enormous bills for services that are either unnecessary or performed negligently. Despite the Supreme Court's ruling, medical professionals have historically enjoyed a certain immunity, partly due to the complexity of medical science, and partly because patients feel powerless against the system. Many doctors and hospitals continue to escape accountability by arguing that a bad outcome is not the same as negligence. This is why stronger, clearer coverage of medical professionals under the Consumer Protection Act is not just desirable, it is essential. Here is why. First, accountability drives quality. When service providers know they can be held financially liable, they are incentivized to maintain higher standards. This is why every other industry, airlines, banks, builders, telecom companies, has improved consumer experience once consumer law became enforceable against them. Healthcare must be no different. Second, the financial burden is entirely on the patient. India has one of the highest rates of out-of-pocket healthcare expenditure in the world. A large majority of families spend their entire savings, or go into debt, when a serious illness strikes. When that expenditure is triggered or worsened by a doctor's negligence, the patient deserves restitution. The Consumer Protection Act is the most accessible and affordable legal route for ordinary citizens to claim that restitution. Third, the power imbalance must be corrected. A patient sitting across from a doctor is inherently in a vulnerable position, medically, emotionally, and informationally. They cannot evaluate whether a procedure is necessary. They cannot question a diagnosis with the same authority. The Consumer Protection Act helps level this playing field by giving patients a legal recourse that does not require them to be medical experts, only to demonstrate that the service rendered was deficient. If you or a loved one believes you have been a victim of medical negligence, here is what you should do. Collect all evidence: hospital bills, prescriptions, diagnostic reports, treatment records, and discharge summaries. Get a second opinion from a qualified medical professional in writing. Then file a complaint at the appropriate Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission, district level for claims up to 50 lakh rupees, state level up to 2 crore rupees, and the National Commission for higher amounts. You can also approach the Medical Council of India or the respective state medical council to file a professional misconduct complaint against the doctor. Both routes can run simultaneously. Friends, your health is your most precious asset, and you have every right to demand quality care when you are paying for it. Doctors are heroes, and the vast majority of them are dedicated, skilled professionals. But where negligence